I wanted to talk a little bit about label reading, which is something that I find when I teach my classes makes a very big difference for people. So I'm going to post a label up on our Facebook page so that you can take a look at it. But I want to just, if I can, very quickly go through the things that I talk about, and then we can have a chat back and forth. But when you're looking at the actual label, there's a few key things that are important. The first is you want to make sure you're looking at the serving size. So if you're holding, a bag of potato chips, note that the serving size is generally not the entire bag. So you want to make sure you're looking at the number of chips or things. And I'm even talking if you're using what you seem to think might be healthy chips. If you got a natural, organic, wheat, flax seed, sweet potato chip, which sounds all good on paper, you still want to make sure you look at what the serving sizes are. You also want to look at how many servings are per container. There's a few things that I find that my husband used to get from Costco. There was like a tiki masala that he used to buy from Costco that you would think would only serve him. And if you look at the servings per container, it's like 6. And if you looked at the fat content, it's pretty high. Same as the metaphorical Haagen-Dazs pint that I constantly refer to. It's not one serving, that Haagen-Dazs pint, for 72 grams of fat or something that it is. So make sure you're looking at the serving sizes and the number of servings per container. The other thing that's important to look at is the total fat. Now, we're not talking about calories on this program, so I'm skipping over the calories. So total fat. So fat can break into saturated fats and trans fats, which we don't want. So ideally you want those to be 0. But you want obviously the fats to be the lowest possible. The polyunsaturated fats and the monounsaturated fats are the good fats. So they're okay, but still in moderation. You don't want that number much over 3 or 4. You don't want a high, even a high single digit is a lot for fat. Cholesterol and sodium, you obviously just want those numbers as low as possible. And let's get into the meaty stuff. So when looking at total carbs, depending on the ingredients that you're eating, the carbs may be high or may be low. But under the word total carbs, you're going to see something that says fiber, and then sometimes fiber might be indented and it might say soluble and insoluble fiber, and then sugars, and then you actually might have a third item called sugar alcohols. When you're trying to figure out the net carb count, the net carb count means the amount of impact, basically, that carb is going to have on your blood sugar levels. A higher net carb count is going to have an immediate spike on your blood sugar levels, and a lower, meaning like numbers 1 to like 6, is going to have a slower rise to your blood sugar levels. The thing that's going to change the impact of your blood sugar levels is the quantity of fiber. So you're always looking for the highest number of fiber that you can get. The way that you determine the net carb count is you take that total carb number and you subtract the items that are, you're going to subtract the numbers that are not going to impact your blood sugar levels. So I'm looking at a wrap right here that says total carbs 11 grams, dietary fiber 6 grams, and then it says sugar 1 gram. Now sugar is going to impact your blood sugar level. So I would take the 11 total carbs that it lists, I would subtract the 6 that are not going to impact my blood sugar. So 11 minus 6 is 5. I cannot subtract the 1 for the sugar, so I'm left with 5 net carbs, okay? And that's a good number, so we're looking for a lower number. So when you go into the grocery store, and when you do, if you do decide to add back grains, and you're comparing wraps or you're comparing cereals, you really want to look at what that net carb count is. You really, really, really want to look at what that sugar number is, because you want that sugar number to be a low single-digit number. The second it gets into double-digit numbers, you're looking at a challenge. The other thing you want to look at is the protein. We want protein to be high, so as high a number as you can get for protein is going to be a good thing. The other really important thing to look at is the ingredients. Needless to say, if you have a laundry list of ingredients of which you cannot pronounce, like, the entire third of them, then that's something you really want to debate if you're putting the chemicals in your body, regardless of what the fiber is or what the carb count is. I have a couple of friends that only eat foods that have 5 ingredients per, and you have to be able to name them. So here's a good example. In my class, I always compare 3 oatmeals. One is the Weight Watchers Crave Control. I think it's called oatmeal. One is Trader Joe's has a brown sugar and maple oatmeal that comes in like a pod that you microwave, and the other is just steel cut oats. When you look at the carb count for all of them, the carbs are around the same. It's like 26 grams. The fiber, which is like 2 or 3, is about the same, and the sugar is about the same. So all in all, you'd think the 3 are equal. But when you look at the list of ingredients in the Weight Watchers Crave Control microwave popcorn is 98% chemicals. So do you really want that in your body because you can cook it in a minute? The Trader Joe's one has a little higher sugar because it has brown sugar added to it, but there's only like 5 ingredients, of which you can name all those ingredients, and it looks like oatmeal and it tastes like oatmeal. So for your kids or something like that who might not be completely, worried about all of their sugar, that might be a better choice. But even better is steel cut oats. If you look at a box of steel cut oats, there is 1 ingredient, and it is steel cut oats. And then whatever you add to it is always better. I would say the same like when you're looking at yogurt. So yogurt, if you got a Greek yogurt, would have a high protein amount, but the second you start getting yogurt that's got added blueberries and vanilla and stuff like that, you're going to be starting to increase the sugar. So better for you to get the Greek yogurt that has the highest protein, the natural flavor, and then you add fruit if you feel you need to. So this was just sort of a quick look at label reading. I'm happy to entertain any questions that you might have on it. Okay? Take care.